Leviticus Chapter 5. And if anyone sins in that he hears the voice of adjuration when he is a witness, whether he has seen or known about a matter, if he does not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Or if anyone touches any unclean thing, whether the carcass of an unclean animal or the carcass of unclean cattle or the carcass of unclean swarming things, and it escapes his notice, and he is unclean, then he will be guilty. Or if he touches the uncleanness of man, whatever his uncleanness is with which he becomes unclean, and it escapes his notice, when he comes to know it, then he will be guilty. Or if anyone swears rashly with his lips to do evil or to do good, whatever it is that a man utters rashly with an oath, and it escapes his notice, when he comes to know it, then he shall be guilty in one of these things. And when he is guilty in one of these things, he shall confess that in which he has sinned. And he shall bring his trespass offering to Jehovah for his sin which he has committed, a female from the flock, a sheep or a goat, as a sin offering, and the priest shall make expiation for him on account of his sin. And if he cannot afford a lamb, then he shall bring as his trespass offering to Jehovah for that in which he has sinned 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. And he shall bring them to the priest, who shall present first that which is for the sin offering, and the priest shall pinch off its head at the front of its neck but shall not sever it. And he shall sprinkle some of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be drained out at the base of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second as a burnt offering according to the ordinance. And the priest shall make expiation for him on account of his sin which he has committed, and he will be forgiven. But if he cannot afford 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he shall bring as his offering for that which he has sinned, the 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it nor put any frankincense upon it, for it is a sin offering. And he shall bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it as its memorial portion and burn it on the altar, upon Jehovah's offerings by fire. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall make expiation for him concerning his sin that he has committed in any of these things, and he will be forgiven. And the rest shall be the priest's, like the meal offering. Then Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, If anyone acts unfaithfully and sins without intent in the holy things of Jehovah, then he shall bring his trespass offering to Jehovah, a ram without blemish out of the flock according to your valuation in silver by shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. And he shall make restitution for the holy thing in which he has sinned, and he shall add to it 1/5 part of it and give it to the priest. And the priest shall make expiation for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and he will be forgiven. And if anyone sins and does any of the things which Jehovah has commanded not to be done, though he did not know, he is still guilty and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring to the priest a ram without blemish out of the flock according to your valuation for a trespass offering. And the priest shall make expiation for him concerning the matter in which he erred without intent and did not know, and he will be forgiven. It is a trespass offering. He is certainly guilty before Jehovah. Leviticus Chapter 6. Then Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, If anyone sins and acts unfaithfully against Jehovah and deceives his associate in regard to a deposit or a security, or by robbery, or has extorted from his associate, or has found a lost item and lied about it, if he has sworn falsely in any one of all these things a man may do and sins thereby. Then if he has sinned and is guilty, he shall restore that which he took by robbery, or the thing which he got by extortion, or the deposit which was entrusted to him, or the lost item which he found. Or anything about which he has sworn falsely, he shall even restore it in full, and shall add to it 1/5 part of it. He shall give it to the one to whom it belongs, on the day he is found guilty. And he shall bring to Jehovah his trespass offering, a ram without blemish out of the flock according to your valuation for a trespass offering, to the priest he shall bring it. And the priest shall make expiation for him before Jehovah, and he will be forgiven for any of the things which he may have done so as to be guilty. Then Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Command Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the law of the burnt offering. The burnt offering shall be on the hearth on the altar all night until the morning, and the fire of the altar shall be kept burning on it. And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and his linen trousers he shall put on his flesh, and he shall take up the ashes to which the fire has consumed the burnt offering on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar. Then he shall take off his garments and put on other garments and carry the ashes outside the camp to a clean place. And the fire on the altar shall be kept burning on it, it must not go out. And the priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and he shall lay the burnt offering in order upon it and shall burn the fat of the peace offerings on it. Fire shall be kept burning on the altar continually, it shall not go out. And this is the law of the meal offering, the sons of Aaron shall present it before Jehovah before the altar. And one shall take up from it his handful of the fine flour of the meal offering and of its oil and all the frankincense which is on the meal offering, and he shall burn it on the altar for a satisfying fragrance as its memorial portion to Jehovah. And what is left of it Aaron and his sons may eat, it shall be eaten without leaven in a holy place, in the court of the tent of meeting they shall eat it. It shall not be baked with leaven. I have given it as their portion of my offerings by fire, it is most holy, like the sin offering and like the trespass offering. Every male among the children of Aaron shall eat of it, it shall be a perpetual statute throughout your generations from Jehovah's offerings by fire, whoever touches them shall be holy. Then Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, This is the offering of Aaron and of his sons, which they shall present to Jehovah in the day when he is anointed, the 10th of an ephah of fine flour for a continual meal offering, half of it in the morning and half of it in the evening. On a flat plate it shall be prepared with oil, when it is mixed, you shall bring it, as a meal offering of baked pieces you shall present it as a satisfying fragrance to Jehovah. And the priest anointed to be in his place from among his sons shall prepare it. It shall be a perpetual statute, it shall be wholly burned to Jehovah. And every meal offering of the priest shall be wholly burned, it must not be eaten. Then Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and to his sons, saying, This is the law of the sin offering, in the place where the burnt offering is slaughtered the sin offering shall be slaughtered before Jehovah, it is most holy. The priest who offers it for sin shall eat it. In a holy place it shall be eaten, in the court of the tent of meeting. Whatever touches its flesh shall be holy. And when any of its blood splashes on a garment, you shall wash whatever was splashed in a holy place. But the earthen vessel in which it is boiled shall be broken, and if it is boiled in a bronze vessel, it shall be scoured and rinsed in water. Every male among the priests may eat of it, it is most holy. And any sin offering of which some of the blood is brought into the tent of meeting to make expiation in the holy place shall not be eaten, it shall be burned with fire. Leviticus Chapter 7. And this is the law of the trespass offering, it is most holy. In the place where they slaughter the burnt offering they shall slaughter the trespass offering, and its blood he shall sprinkle on and around the altar. And he shall present from it all its fat, the fat tail, and the fat that covers the inward parts. And the 2 kidneys and the fat that is on them, which is on the loins, and the appendage upon the liver, which he shall remove with the kidneys. And the priest shall burn them on the altar as an offering by fire to Jehovah, it is a trespass offering. Every male among the priests may eat of it, it shall be eaten in a holy place, it is most holy. The trespass offering is like the sin offering, there is one law for them, the priest who makes expiation with it shall have it. And the priest who presents anyone's burnt offering, that priest shall have for himself the skin of the burnt offering which he has presented. And every meal offering that is baked in an oven and everything that is made in a pot or on a flat plate shall belong to the priest who presents it. And every other meal offering, mingled with oil or dry, shall be for all the sons of Aaron, to each alike. Now this is the law of the sacrifice of peace offerings that one shall present to Jehovah. If he presents it for a thanksgiving, then he shall present with the sacrifice of thanksgiving unleavened cakes mingled with oil and unleavened wafers anointed with oil and saturated cakes of fine flour mingled with oil. With cakes of leavened bread he shall present his offering with the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving. And from it he shall present one out of each offering as a heave offering to Jehovah. It shall belong to the priest who sprinkles the blood of the peace offerings. And the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving shall be eaten on the day of his offering, he shall not leave any of it until the morning. But if the sacrifice of his offering is a vow or a freewill offering, it shall be eaten on the day that he presents his sacrifice, and on the next day what remains of it shall be eaten. But what remains of the flesh of the sacrifice on the third day shall be burned with fire. And if any of the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings is eaten at all on the third day, it will not be accepted, neither will it be reckoned to the one who presents it, it will be an abomination, and the person who eats of it shall bear his own iniquity. And flesh that touches any unclean thing shall not be eaten, it shall be burned with fire. And as for other flesh, anyone who is clean may eat such flesh. But the person who eats of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which belong to Jehovah, with his uncleanness upon him, that person shall be cut off from his people. And when anyone touches any unclean thing, the uncleanness of man or an unclean beast or any unclean abomination, and eats of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which belong to Jehovah, that person shall be cut off from his people. Then Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, Ye shall not eat any fat of an ox or of a sheep or of a goat. And the fat of an animal that dies and the fat of an animal which is torn by beasts may be put to any other use, but you shall by no means eat it. For whoever eats the fat of a beast, from which someone presents an offering by fire to Jehovah, then the person who eats it shall be cut off from his people. And you shall not eat any blood, either of bird or of beast, in any of your dwelling places. Any person who eats any blood, that person shall be cut off from his people. Then Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, He who presents the sacrifice of his peace offerings to Jehovah shall bring his offering to Jehovah out of the sacrifice of his peace offerings. His own hands shall bring Jehovah's offerings by fire, the fat with the breast he shall bring, that the breast may be waved as a wave offering before Jehovah. And the priest shall burn the fat on the altar, but the breast shall be for Aaron and for his sons. And the right thigh you shall give to the priest for a heave offering out of the sacrifices of your peace offerings. The one among the sons of Aaron who presents the blood of the peace offerings and the fat shall have the right thigh as his portion. For the breast of the wave offering and the thigh of the heave offering I have taken from the children of Israel out of the sacrifices of their peace offerings and have given them to Aaron the priest and to his sons for a perpetual statute to be observed by the children of Israel. This is the anointing portion of Aaron and the anointing portion of his sons, from Jehovah's offerings by fire, in the day when he presented them to serve Jehovah as priests. Which Jehovah commanded to be given them from the children of Israel in the day that he anointed them. It shall be a perpetual statute throughout their generations. This is the law of the burnt offering and of the meal offering and of the sin offering and of the trespass offering and of the filling of hands and of the sacrifice of peace offerings. Which Jehovah commanded Moses on Mount Sinai, on the day that he commanded the children of Israel to present their offerings to Jehovah in the wilderness of Sinai.